Hello and welcome to KXII 12 News Now. My name is Robin Key. Now it is 12:30 on this Thursday, October 9th. Thank you for joining us for your midday news update. Now let's get into your Texoma headlines. New at noon, a Durant man on Oklahoma's top 10 most wanted list has been arrested. 20-year-old Justice Jones was taken into custody in Warrenton, Oregon. The Bryan County Sheriff's Office say he turned himself in a few days after U.S. Marshals served a search warrant at a family member's home in California. Jones is wanted on a list of charges, including rape and domestic assault, after he allegedly attacked a woman in Durant over the summer when she tried to break up with him. Corey Foster has been indicted by a grand jury on a charge of manslaughter in the death of Denison teacher Katie Palmer. Katie and her husband John were out for a morning walk in April of 2020 when they were hit by a truck. John was severely injured. Katie did not survive. A grand jury in 2020 decided not to bring charges against Foster. However, new District Attorney John Kermit Hill made a campaign promise to revisit the case when he took office. Katie's husband says he has not and will not stop fighting for justice.
When you love somebody, stopping is never an option. And we didn't stop. And we'll always love you, Katie Palmer. And we'll keep fighting for you from now until forever.
Over the past 5 years, Palmer's family has given countless hours to the Justice for Katie movement. KXII 12's Austin Hedgecoth shows us how their work has managed to change state law.
The Denison couple was hit from behind by a truck driven by their neighbor, Corey Foster. The impact broke John's ribs and killed Katie.
Hey, John, is that your wife? What's her name?
Reviewing the body cam footage from that day, you can hear officers talking about the strong smell of alcohol on Foster's breath.
I'm smelling it pretty strong coming from your breath.
He did take a field sobriety test, and 50 minutes after the accident, he blew a .06 blood alcohol level, which is below the legal limit. His blood was never drawn, and the breathalyzer test can't be used in court. Foster blamed the crash on the morning sun.
I just couldn't see because the glare was so bad.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have driven.
In the months that followed, a Grayson County grand jury declined to indict Foster on charges of manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide, at the same time as John Palmer filed a wrongful death suit in civil court. For the next year, Katie's family and the community pushed for changes in the law. At the time of her death, officers could use their own judgment when deciding whether to test a driver's blood alcohol level. But after a big push from the Justice for Katie movement, HB 558 was signed into law in June of 2021. Now, officers at the scene of a crash that seriously injures or kills a pedestrian must draw blood from the driver. That blood will then be screened for drugs or alcohol. And just months after the law changed, new body cam video was released that John Palmer argues should have been used as evidence.
But right when I come up and I saw it was him, I was like, yeah, he's probably drunk.
He said the same thing. He said that,
He's always drunk.
that dude's always drunk.
Fast forward to 2024, District Attorney Brett Smith, who was in charge at the time of Katie's death, announced a bid for re-election. Members of his team then resigned, citing frustration with Smith's labeling of the case a dead horse.
That dead horse issue is in fact a dead woman, and her name is Katie Palmer.
In that election, John Kermit Hill would go on to beat Smith and become the new district attorney, running on a platform promising to revisit the case. Now, as the DA, Hill indeed brought the case back and secured a grand jury indictment on one count of manslaughter. Hill adds that an indictment should not be considered evidence of guilt, and that all charges with a crime are presumed, and all charged with a crime are presumed innocent until proven guilty. We will be continuing to follow this case. A Durant man accused of murder in the beating death of a woman last week made his first court appearance yesterday. Antonio Kendrick was arrested last Thursday at the campus court apartment after 37-year-old Kayla Tapp-Urko was found dead in an apartment. Court documents and Kendrick stated that the two were dating, but her family says he was not her boyfriend. Records also show her children were present during the assault. Kendrick is being held without bond. His next court date is set for December. He faces death, life without parole, or life in prison if convicted. A stay of execution has been granted for East Texas death row inmate Robert Robertson. Yes, today, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeal found Roberson satisfied his claim that he should get relief after the appeals court granted a new trial to a man in a similar case last year. Roberson, who was convicted on a diagnosis of shaken baby syndrome, has long claimed he is innocent in the murder of his 2-year-old daughter, Nikki Curtis. The ruling halts Roberson's execution, which was scheduled to take place next Thursday. A benefit account has been opened to help the family of Grayson County Sheriff Sergeant who were injured in a recent crash. The wife and child of Sergeant Juan Monazarez were left critically injured after a collision with a suspected drunk driver. If you'd like to donate to help the family, you can do so at the family's GoFundMe account, linked on our website, or you can also make donations at any First State Bank location. With the last month's Ardmore parks have been targeted by vandals. Frey, Lee, Douglas, Whittington, Central, and the skate park, and of course their most recent one, Walker Park, have all been hit. While the graffiti on the playground at Walker is minimal, the brick wall is lathered in spray paint, making cleanup difficult, and it's taking a toll on the city parks and recreation department.
It takes away from something else that we could be doing to better the park, or, to repair something else, or just to keep up with our day-to-day routines.
Ardmore's Parks and Rec have filed a report to the Ardmore Police Department. APD says that they've taken one juvenile into custody whose charges are now pending. Currently, they're trying to identify another juvenile suspect who may be tied to the incidents. A woman died Monday after riding the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland in California. She's described as a park guest in her 60s. Security workers administered CPR when she was found unresponsive. No cause of death has been determined. Anaheim Fire and Rescue says she appears to have died from a medical episode unrelated to the ride. The Haunted Mansion opened again shortly after the incident. This comes less than a month after a man died on the Stardust Racer ride at Universal Epic Studios in Orlando. That roller coaster remained closed for weeks after the death. The 10th and final New Orleans jail escapee is back in police custody. Derek Groves was captured in Atlanta Wednesday after a standoff with local police and a U.S. Marshals. The 27-year-old was convicted of the 2018 Mardi Gras murder of 2 women. Authorities say Groves was among the shooters who opened fire at a family party with an assault rifle. He and 9 other inmates broke out of the Orleans Justice Center in New Orleans on May 16th. National Guard troops from Texas woke up at the U.S. Army Reserve Center in the southwest Chicago suburbs of Elwood Wednesday morning, as a legal battle plays out over their deployment in Illinois. The state of Illinois argues that there is no crisis that requires the troops' presence. Sources said that the Texas National Guard members are expected to begin their duties in the Chicago area before the ruling in the state's lawsuit, which is expected on today. The source said that the Illinois National Guard, which has been federalized and is also expected to be deployed to patrol the Chicago area, will wait until after the ruling to hit the field. Pope Leo XIV was presented with letters and video from immigrants in the U.S. at the Vatican on Wednesday. Bishop Mark Seitz from El Paso, Texas, made the delivery. Bishop Seitz has been an outspoken advocate for immigrants and has been critical of the Trump administration's immigration policy. Pope Leo has described treatment of immigrants in the U.S. as inhumane. The Pope also expressed his opposition to policies he described as denying the dignity of the new arrivals. Bishop Seitz was joined by El Paso Bishop Anthony Celio, who was born in the Philippines, and representatives of immigrants communities from El Paso. Israel and Hamas have agreed to pause in the devastating two-year war in Gaza. The breakthrough deal includes the release of remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. The news was met with joy and relief, but also caution among Palestinians in Gaza. Many are eager for the killings and destruction to end, but also feel the weight of their losses. Uncertainty remains about the broader peace plan and advocacy by the U.S. administration. Key unanswered questions include whether and how Hamas will disarm and who will govern Gaza after the war. Israel's offensive, launched after a deadly Hamas attack in 2023, has killed tens of thousands of Palestinians and caused massive destruction. Arab officials and a Hamas official indicated that a partial pullback of forces in Gaza will begin once the deal is ratified. Now, after this, we are going to return to Texoma with our community corner, where we will talk about everything that you need to know in order to keep up with your local community. So while we will be taking a short break, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to KXII 12 News Now. We're going to start with some news that you need to know to be a good part of the Texoma community, which of course means that we're going to start with news about Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton took to social media yesterday to address recent rumors, saying, quote, "I ain't dead yet." It comes after the 79-year-old singer postponed her Las Vegas concert over health concerns, and her sister has asked for fans to pray for Dolly.
Going to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay.
Dolly says she's battling kidney stones. Her sister later apologized for scaring fans with her post about Dolly's health. As someone with siblings, this absolutely is something that one of my siblings would do, and I think that a lot of people who are on Facebook can probably relate. Dolly, it's good to know that you're doing okay. Durant students rolled up to school in style yesterday. Over 150 students, parents, and staff with Northwest Heights and Washington Irving Elementary Schools celebrated the 2025 National Walk, Bike, and Roll to School Day, designed to encourage students to take active and safe trips to school, reduce emissions, and build healthy habits. Now, that's a pretty big turnout. I never got to walk to school. I think it always sounded really fun though. So if you bike or walk to school, I'm a little bit jealous. Today is the second day of the Fannin County Fair. It's the kickoff to a weekend full of fun, including rides, a car show, tractor pulls, and a cooking contest showcasing students across Fannin County. Andrea Lerpin with the Fair Board says that this year is a biggest fair yet.
They can shop, they can come and make bracelets. We have like Fannin County Electric giving away popcorn. Just everybody comes and does something and just spends time with each other in the community.
The fair runs through Sunday, but that is not the only thing going on this weekend. The Red River Rivalry is Saturday. That's right, the game of the year for many people. And one tradition is bringing an important piece of the game to the stadium. Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps groups from both Texas and Oklahoma are running the game balls to the Cotton Bowl. This is their 28th year doing it, and yesterday evening, OU's Conogrant ran through Ardmore. Many fans came out to cheer them on.
Just to see people out here supporting this and learning about this tradition and supporting our ROTC members was just truly a special time.
The full length of the run is 3 days and around 200 miles. That is a really long run. Shout out to them for doing that, though. That is so cool to know that the game ball has been through Texoma. That's so fun. Occupational safety students at Southeastern Oklahoma State University got a head start into their careers this week at the annual Safety Career Fair. Students met with more than 25 local firms to network and meet with potential employers in the area. One student was especially excited.
I have a huge passion for protecting people. I feel like it's gotten better, but there are still a lot of companies that will put their workers in harm's way. They know what they're doing. They know that these people are not safe. I want to stand in the way of companies putting their workers in harm's way.
The next Safety Career Fair will be held February 27th. Now, if you've enjoyed this KXII 12 News Now, don't worry, we will be here tomorrow, same time, 12:30, same place. Our KXII live streams and YouTube Live. Now, want more KXII 12? Well, you can tune in today, later for KXII 12 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And for more information on any of the stories you saw today, go to KXII.com to find all of our full reporting. Also, don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. There you'll find constant updates, exclusive content, and all of our stories, old and new. But until I see you again, have a great day, Texoma.